Welcome to the Rustic Garden. I want to give you an update on my indeterminate tomatoes. These are my cherry tomatoes, indeterminate cherries. Talk to you about trellising options. This is something that I like to do. It's sort of like the Florida weave, but not really modified, but it's just a little bit different. These are actually 5-foot fence posts. They're about $4, and you just sink them into the ground with the hooks facing this way. And what I like to do is put the base in about 5.5 feet apart and then put them in on an angle, because you want the angle to create tension. So this corner from up here, right side, all the way to the left side is about 6 feet. So they're sunken on an angle. Hit them in with a hammer a couple inches past. You'll see at the bottom, you can't see it now, but there's a little flare that comes out that you can just press it into the ground and then hammer it in just a little bit further, and it will be nice and secure. It will support up to 3 tomatoes. You could try 4 if you want to. I don't really recommend it. Space your tomatoes about 18 inches to 24 inches apart, and you just drop them in like that, and it's real easy to set up. With the Florida weave, sometimes you put in your first row of string and then you come back in a week, put in your second row of string, and you're basically adding it as the tomato grows up. This way, I like to set it up like this. I can do it all at once. It really takes about 10 minutes. All you do is start with the string at the first hook. I'll go slow so I don't make you seasick, and go all the way down to the same height on this side. So that gets it started. Put it right into the hook, wrap it around one time, and then you just bring the string back across all the way over to the next level. Hook it in, wrap it around one time, and then you bring it back across the other way up to the next level. And then you keep going, sort of zigzagging slowly, and you'll get to the top. You'll have plenty of jute in there to weave your tomatoes through. It will support them up to this height. If you need to, you can add in another stake here later, depending on how you're pruning your tomato. One tip I want to share with you is right here, to keep the tension, tie a piece of string, pull it back, and then tie it to a stake or a fence. I'm going to show you another trellis with bigger half-pound, 1-pound tomato indeterminates, and show you how I did the weave there. Put it to a stake, or if you don't have a big stake, just sink something down into the ground and tie it off to that. And that will just create tension and will make it stronger. Right here I have some copper tubing, and that copper tubing is an experiment. There's a garden myth that says if you use a copper stake or you tie copper to your tomato, it may stop fungus from growing on your tomato. And the theory is that copper's used to kill off fungus and control fungus on grapes, different plants on your tomatoes. So I'm doing an experiment. I'm going to grow this bumblebee right up the copper tubing. It will be touching it. We'll see if anything happens. Now down in the bottom I have basil. Let's see. I have it set up. A plug right here I didn't put in yet. I like to grow my basil in the seed cells as soon as it gets warm. That's some Spicy Glow bush basil. I do 72 cells, different varieties of basil, put it right by my door. I can tend it right there, and it really beats coming out and seeding different varieties of basil all over your garden and then trying to figure out where it is. Do you have to water it? Did you cover it up? So what I did is I took all my basil out today and I dropped the plugs in throughout the garden. I have a Genovese, large Italian, dwarf Greek, lemon basil over there. And basil goes great with tomato. You can make salsas with it, you can make tomato salads with it, bruschetta. The cherry tomatoes I'm growing in there is a yellow cherry, or a yellow pear, all cherries, Borghese. That's a determinate variety actually. A red pear, my bumblebee, and a black cherry. Let me take you over to the indeterminates for the larger tomatoes, the 8 ounces, the 16 ounces. Now what I did is in my earlier tour, I think 2 weeks ago, these are in cages, but I decided to remove the cages. I'm going to use them somewhere else. Right in here on the side note is my sunken container garden of different squashes, cucumbers. I'm going to do an update on that too, show you how that's going. But I wanted to show you this. Here are some more of my indeterminates, and of course you can cage them the standard way. They're going to have to get a stake dropped in there eventually. I've been pruning them. I like to prune a good 10 to 12 inches off the bottom slowly as the tomato grows. This is a double stem. That's a double stem, and I tend to slowly let my indeterminates branch out as they get taller, but I like to start with one stem, go to 2 to 3, kind of manage them for a while for disease issues, and then I sort of let them go. Here's the modified weave for a couple bigger tomatoes. That's a Aussie right there. That could get up to a 2-pound tomato. I think that's a Sioux, and then that's a Rutgers. And the Rutgers is actually a semi-determinate tomato, but that's the biggest one right now. And same principle, put them in at an angle, just weaved it across, and then I weave the tomatoes through. And it's very, very secure. As the tomatoes get large, they may stretch the string a little bit. Just come in, tie it just like that. Tie 2 pieces together, that tightens it up. This is not going to slide side to side. Nice and tight, and you have a nice way to trellis your tomatoes. Saves you a little bit of money too, because stakes can be expensive if you're buying them. So you're using 2 stakes here instead of 3. You're not using any cages, so it does save you money. So these are a couple of options that you have for trellising. Let me actually take you over just to show you what the stakes look like too. So you can use cages. You could set up the fence post weave like I showed you. We're coming through. These are the determinates that are starting to have fruit ripen on there, so that'll be great. So you come over to here. These are my Brandywine yellows, German Johnson, Cherokee purple, and you can see a little cage to get the tomatoes started, but they also need a wooden stake to grow up. So these are a couple ways that you can trellis tomatoes. Hope the weave gives you an idea of something you can do that you may not have tried before. I recommend giving it a try. It's really sturdy. It'll save you a little bit of money too, I think, in the long run. Those metal posts, the fence posts, will not wear out, and you can use them year after year after year. Please check out my blog at www.theroastedgarden.blogspot.com, and also check out my YouTube videos. Thanks.